Welcome to a high-stakes underwater heavyweight explainer. Today, we're pitting the real-world science of an ancient apex predator against the terrifying nautical lore of a legendary sea monster. We are taking the data, the fossils, and centuries of seafaring legends and putting them head-to-head. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive right in by asking the question that has sparked endless debates among deep-sea nerds like us. If the ultimate prehistoric predator crossed paths with the ocean's most terrifying myth down in the pitch-black abyss, who actually walks away as the undisputed ruler? Well, we're going to look at both the biology and the lore to find out.
To figure this all out, we basically have to weigh hard, fossilized facts against centuries of seafaring fears. On one side, we've got an animal that definitively shaped the ancient seas, and on the other, a creature born straight from sailors' nightmares, but one that modern science actually links to the very real giant squids roaming the deep ocean today.
Section 1. Megalodon, the prehistoric titan. Let's step into the red corner with a monster born straight from the fossil record. Roaming the warm global waters millions of years ago, this colossal ancestor to the great white shark was the ultimate apex predator. It emerged around 28 million years ago, reached its absolute peak dominance about 20 million years ago, and then finally went extinct during the Pleistocene period. This guy was the true Leviathan of its time.
Now you really got to wrap your head around the sheer bone-crushing power of the Megalodon. We are talking about a bite force of up to 182,000 newtons. To put that into perspective for a second, a T-Rex only had about a fifth of that power. The Megalodon could literally snap a modern car completely in half with just a single chomp. Insane, right?
And of course, that massive bite was attached to an absolute powerhouse of a body. Picture a torpedo-shaped hunter weighing over 100 tons and stretching up to 25 meters. That's roughly the length of 3 school buses lined up end to end. Cruising at up to 20 kilometers per hour, it feasted on massive whales, using a jaw span packed with hundreds of razor-sharp 18-centimeter teeth. It was quite literally a perfectly evolved biological machine.
Moving on to Section 2, Kraken, Legend of the Abyss. In the blue corner, rising from centuries of human imagination and sheer terror, let's take a look at the myth itself.
Originating way back in 12th century Norse and Finnish legends, terrified sailors described this elusive beast as literally an island-sized monster. Just imagine looking out at the water, thinking you see land, only for that quote-unquote island to suddenly wrap massive tentacles around your ship's hull, completely capsize it, and drag your entire crew down into the freezing abyss. Yeah, no thank you.
These legends scale this massive cephalopod to a staggering 90 meters in total length. Guys, that is nearly the height of the Statue of Liberty. Now, while that sounds purely mythical, modern science actually links this exact lore to the very real giant and colossal squids. These are flesh and blood animals that can reach a highly respectable 15 meters and inhabit the exact same deep, pitch-black waters the Kraken was said to rule over.
And the Kraken's terrifying toolkit? It's pure nightmare fuel. Its massive tentacles are lined with powerful suction cups that contain sharp, piercing tooth rings. Plus, it boasts advanced problem-solving intelligence, incredible camouflage, and this crazy defense mechanism of highly toxic, suffocating black ink. In fact, legends from 1782 actually claim a Kraken dyed the Atlantic black while allegedly sinking 10 British warships. Absolutely wild.
All right, Section 3, Tale of the Tape. It is time to put these two fighters side by side and see how they truly match up against each other.
Looking at these stats, it's a fascinating dynamic of brawn versus brains. The Megalodon holds a very clear advantage in raw cruising speed and devastating immediate bite damage. However, the Kraken completely dominates in sheer physical reach with those massive tentacles. And honestly, more importantly, it wins in high-level strategic problem-solving intelligence.
So, what it ultimately boils down to is a classic clash of combat styles. Aggressive, high-speed brute force versus cunning, evasive reach. The shark basically wants a quick, fatal strike, while the squid wants to outmaneuver, blind, and entrap its opponent.
Section 4. Battle in the Deep. Let's move on to the main event and see how this deep-sea clash would actually play out according to our sources.
And the most likely battle sequence described, the Megalodon's aggressive instincts take over right away. It initiates a lightning-fast, high-speed charge aiming for a bone-crushing bite. But the highly intelligent Kraken completely anticipates this. It deploys its blinding, toxic ink to create a massive smokescreen, totally outmaneuvering the shark. Then, it wraps the Megalodon from behind in a deadly, crushing constriction, digging those sharp tentacle rings deep into the shark's flesh.
Now, that being said, the Kraken is definitely not indestructible. If the Megalodon manages to evade the tentacles and lands a lucky, bone-crushing first bite directly to the squid's brain or vital organs, what we call a vital strike, well, it secures an immediate, brutal victory before the Kraken can even react. It's a game of incredibly high stakes.
Which brings us to Section 5, the ultimate ocean ruler. When you step back and analyze all the data and battle scenarios impartially, a clear favorite emerges.
The general consensus among the sources heavily favors the mythical cephalopod. The Kraken's high intelligence, evasive ink tactics, and deadly constricting grip give it a massive 75% probability of claiming victory in this matchup. This leaves our prehistoric shark, the Megalodon, with roughly a 25% chance, heavily reliant on landing that one perfect lucky strike right out of the gate.
While we may never actually see this prehistoric pay-per-view battle unfold in real life, examining these titans leaves us with one chilling final thought to chew on. Knowing that over 90% of our world's oceans remain completely unexplored by humans, what else is actually hiding down there in the dark?